Hello and welcome everyone in another episode of Empowering Science Foundation's Researchers Celebrity. Today we have Mr. Rajeev Kumar with us. A brief about Mr. Rajeev. He has done his schooling in Bihar and then bachelor's in biotechnology from Patna University, master's in biochemistry from University of Delhi South Campus, and then he started working. He took the industrial path and explored his hunt for research. And currently, Rajiv is Business Development Manager at Recipe GmbH. With this brief introduction, I would like to welcome Rajiv at Researcher Celebrity. Rajiv, thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you
So,
very
Rajiv,
much.
we always start our conversation that how and when you decided that you want to take the path of research.
Yeah, interesting question. How and when? Actually, if I recall, this scientific world came inside me when I was a kid. Most of the people usually they decide after doing like 10th or 12th examinations. But in my case, or there are many more people like they start like thinking like a scientist or something like that. How it started is a small story. When I was a kid, I used to watch Discovery Channel. This is a very good channel. Later on, Nat Geo also came. So in Discovery Channel, there were certain serials which I used to watch on regular basis. One of them was Medical Detectives. So that was very much interesting and fully based on the forensic sciences and biological sciences. So that was one of the trigger point where I thought it's a very good area of work and it can be a very good career for me because it was very interesting, exciting, and unfolding the mysteries behind any scene of crime. So that was the first point. Then later on, that time I was in my primary school, like class 5 or 6. Later on, I used to contribute to my father. He was running a chemist shop in Patna itself. So I used to spend some time with my father. That time, I used to read the pack insert of the what to say, the tablets or the capsules. The the packets are there and pack insert will be there, right? So I used to read that time I was in 8th standard. So in the 8th standard, I was knowing what is pharmacokinetics, what is pharmacodynamics, and how a drug molecule works, how what are the doses of a particular drug for the kid and for the adult. So this was the second trigger point for me, spending time and reading lots of pharmaceutical literatures in my medical shop. So I decided I should go in pharmaceutical or the biological or biotech industries, and I decided to choose this career. Then next to that, when I completed my 10th, I taken biology as my subject, completed my 12th. Then after that, I was like I used to read newspapers for career guidance. I'm talking about some 16 or 17 years down the line. So there was no internet access very much. So I was dependent on the scientific magazines, newspapers. So in Hindi newspaper, Hindustan, weekly magazine used to come with the newspaper called Nai Dishaएं, and there was a section for career guidance. So I keep following that magazine, and I used to look for a good career opportunity for me. And one day I saw there is something called biotechnology. Back somewhere in 2003, 2004, it was a biotech boom in the world. So I decided to select this as a career. My father wanted me to prepare for medical examination to become a MBBS. But I thought, no, biotechnology is something which is very much interesting, exciting, making new drug molecules and across the globe. So second trigger point for me. I selected biotechnology and got admitted in BN College, Patna, for my undergraduate studies. The third trigger point came when one of the alumni from Patna University, who graduated from the same college where I was studying at that time in my BSc. His name is sort of Sahar. Anybody can Google him also. He is a very big scientist nowadays. So, as he was alumni, he came for a guest lecture, and he was explaining about his research work. At that time, he was working in University of California, USA, right? So the way he explained his PhD work, it was the one of the strongest trigger point for me to go to dive into the research and the biological world. So this is how I kept following good things, following the ideas, and got into this. Then next to that, after completing my BSc, I was searching for better opportunity because Patna is a very small town. So there were lots of universities like JNU, IITs, uh, ICERs are there nowadays, IISc, Delhi University. So I applied in all of this. I got selected in few of them. Finally, I decided to start my master's program in Delhi University South Campus. So South Campus is also a very good state of the art facilities there in that campus. So I got a very good scientific environment, and that was the place where I thought I should work in the industries apart from academia. Because if you see, lots of people, most of your friends also and my friends also, they are after doing MSc, PhD, they are still in academics. My thought was, because if you see the definition of biotechnology, the it tells that you are going to utilize the microorganisms for the welfare of mankind, something like that. So I thought I should work with some organization where I can develop a product, or there is implementation of my work throughout the globe. So this is how I started my journey from my childhood to whatever I am today.
Nice. So this sounds like a perfect journey from, from primary school becoming a business development officer, and now we will break this journey in small small pieces. Let's talk about with the curious brain of a kid who's sitting in the chemist shop and reading all those, when not many people are interested in pharmacology or pharmacokinetics, as you said, and then making selection that you want to pursue the bachelor's in biotechnology. So when you
Yep.
were doing the biotechnology graduation, at that point of time, what was clear in your head that you want to take academia path or you want to join industry? Was it that early or it went, it came to your brain later on?
Selecting the pharmaceutical industry came in my brain later on, but initially I decided that I have to study the biological sciences, because biological sciences talks about the origin of life, how the life came into existence, and the complexity of life, all the biomolecules, the like every cell having thousands of molecules inside it, thousands of chemical reactions are going on. So that time I was very much interested to know all this.
Nice.
So yeah, so initially these are the things which made me to decide to select the biological sciences as my career.
So after masters, as you said, that you were very much clear that you want to take the industrial route, and now spending quite a time in there and seeing your peers doing in academia, what are your thoughts to or suggestions to the researchers or the students in bachelor's and masters who are not yet sure that they want to take the academic path or should join the industry? Based on your experiences, what are the things which you can share with them and then guide them?
Yeah. Apart from academics, what I see, there majority of my friends and my juniors and lots of seniors, they are still continuing their academic world after PhD, postdoc, and they become a scientist or the professor. They are still in academia. My thought process was, if you are into industries, you can implement something which you have developed and which can be used for a large population, maybe in a particular continent or maybe globally. So my purpose was to work with such kind of organization where whatever work you are doing has to be implemented across the globe. And if I talk about the industries, the way industries work is very different from academics. And lots of people, lots of juniors come to me. They ask me what are the career prospects in industries, and I have shared lots of my experiences in my past with my juniors. There are certain categories of industries in pharmaceuticals. For example, if somebody want to come in industry, they should be very selective what they want to do. I will give a small explanation about this. Pharmaceutical is one type of industry, right? Another is in vitro diagnostic industry, IVD industry. Apart from that, we have biotech industries. Mostly CROs come under that. CROs are contract research organization. So these are the major type of industries where a biological sciences background person can think to make a career. In pharmaceutical also, there are certain type of domains. One is API plant. APIs are the pharmaceutical which are making active pharmaceutical ingredient in bulk, but they are not making it like a tablet or capsule or syrup or injections. Another pharmaceuticals come into picture. They will buy APIs from the previous industry. These APIs, as a raw material, will be formulated further, and that plant called formulation plant. So these two are two different things. API plant is a different type of pharmaceutical. Formulation plants are different type of pharmaceuticals. Now, within that also, there are certain different departments. Anybody who is looking for a job in industry, he or she should know what is their interest. Like whether you want to work like a researcher or analytical method development person or a quality control person or a QA person. There are certain departments. Many people, they in the name of job, they will join the pharmaceutical, but after joining, they face lots of problem. Why? Because they are interested to do research and unknowingly they have joined a wrong department. For example, if you want you want to develop some new drug molecule, but you have joined to the QC department. There is no scope for research in QC. QC having its own compliances, regulations are there, and you need to follow the SOPs. The fixed procedures are there for any type of analysis. So one should be very wise before joining any industry, any type of industry. So this was about pharmaceutical. If I talk about in vitro diagnostic industries, the IVD industries mostly deal into medical devices, which includes the reagents which a diagnostic lab uses for the analysis of patient sample. For example, if somebody is having some problem, doctor prescribes some test, ESR, hemoglobin, between B2, B6, D2, right? So how these tests are being done? There are some method, there are some reagents being used in that. Like there can be some biochemistry based analysis, there can be amino acids like RIA or CLIA. And also apart from that, this reagent part, there are some instrumentation part like hematology analyzer, a very simple example. So this also comes under the in vitro diagnostic industry, right? There are lots of biochemistry analyzer, ELISA-based tests. These all are the part of IVD industry. Apart from that, the contract research organization. These are very vulnerable and highly vibrant type of industry where you are having a very compressed time to complete the project. And what the CROs done? CROs mainly they are not doing their own research, as the name says, contract research organization. That means uh, if I talk about Indian CROs, they are mostly dependent on the projects which are coming from foreign. Like I was working with some of the CROs previously in Gurgaon. Their projects were coming from US, China, Japan. So what happens in CROs, like a pharmaceutical company in Japan, they want to develop certain drug molecule or a recombinant protein, but they don't have that facility because they are the like production plant is there, but they don't have research facility. So obviously they will give a contract, they will give some money to some other third party to develop that molecule. The entire R&D will be done by that CRO. The end product, that is the engineered protein or the newly developed drug, that will be given to that parent company, and the technology transfer will be followed, right? So CROs having very much like interesting job because the entire R&D being done by that CRO R&D team. So this is another type of domain in the pharmaceuticals or the biological sciences, in fact. So these are the major categories where a student with biological sciences background can think of career opportunity. The most satisfactory part is most of the times you will get the chance to work with the molecules which are under clinical trial. Like I have worked with certain molecules which were under phase 3 clinical trial, phase 4 clinical trial, which is a very big thing in itself. To achieve that level of phase 3, phase 4 clinical trials, it takes sometimes a decade. You will develop a molecule today, you will file NDA, that is uh, new drug development application. So NDA filing and getting selected by US FDA is a tremendous job. It's not that easy. 10,000 molecules goes to US FDA and hardly 10 molecule gets selected for preclinical trials. I'm not talking about the clinical trials also. After completing the preclinical trials, phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, like that it will go. So I have already worked with phase 4 clinical trial products as well. So these are the basic categorization of the industries where uh, biological sciences student can think of.
So this was a very detailed, you know, way to explain the things, and I believe that this guidance will be helping to our students who are bachelors or in their masters and still not yet decided that what is the path they want to take, because everyone has their own journey. People have their priorities, responsibilities, which might
Yes.
or might not allow them to pursue a PhD beforehand or not. So, speaking of translational research, Rajiv, as you already explained so much and with a lot of details, that how the starting of a like novel molecule to going to the clinical stage trials, and then finally that accomplishment when you feel that your drug has been approved and now is going to help the patients. That is the biggest accomplishment which you can get out of this entire process. But
Yes.
where do you see the if a person is interested in research, either, basic research or with the aim of foundation translational research in a short span of time, if a master student who is going to complete the masters and have two ideas, that shall they join a PhD or shall they join an industry, you already mentioned that if they want to join industry, they should not be joining the departments when there is no scope. So if you can guide them a little bit more, that how they should approach to an industry where they can actually do the research.
Okay. So this is a very specific question, and I always happy to explain on this because see, in India, I'm talking about Indian pharmaceutical industries. More than 90% of Indian pharmaceutical industries, they are into generic drug production, and where the production plant existing, there is no R&D because production plant means there is a fixed procedure. There is a what do you call uh, like production of that particular drug. Already technology is there, and no need to change it further. So of course there is no R&D. Rest 10% of the industries in pharmaceuticals, which includes the CROs as well, they are core into the research. They are doing the real research, in fact. So selecting an industry is a very wise decision. Then most of the industries, they are into just what to say, the new drug development are very less in Indian industries, and mostly they are into generic drugs, right? So I'll just want to recall the question. Can you just repeat?
So I was saying that a person, a master student who's going to submit their master thesis and have tasted the research and now want to do research, but are not sure
Okay,
that they want to join industry or academia. What are the things which they should consider if they are coming or deciding on industry?
okay. Thank you, thank you so much for helping me. I was lost in the last sentence. So yeah, first, if somebody is going into a PhD, that means investment of 5 years. First part. The second installments come when post PhD research comes, that is PDF, and then so on, so forth. It will keep going on. Like in general term, what a PhD student do? A PhD, then postdoc, number of publications, then he will be joining some department. He may become a professor, assistant professor, and he will keep doing some projects. Okay, so this is a basic structure, and you will keep getting the publication. In sometimes, depending on the nature of the work, you may develop some new technology which can be transferred to industries, which happens very less. It is very rare. Out of 100 PhD scholars profile, if you see, there may be some 5 or 4 PhD candidates who has done some work which is being industrialized or commercialized, right? So one path is this: PhD, postdoc, get publications, start teaching to the college students. If a student having this kind of will, if he is able to invest his entire life in academics and some basic research. Research are two types, right? Basic research and the industrial research. So everybody is not having that patience, that level of courage. Also, there are some financial issues comes in between in Indian system. I don't know about the system working out of India, but in India there are like fellowship problem, and everybody's background is not that strong. So Another part is like if a student want like dedicated for research only, and he is not like thinking of getting making more money, revenue in the future. Okay, so if he is like fully dedicated, he can go for PhD. But somebody is thinking of like doing something dynamic and making good salary revenue with the time, want to enjoy the science in different type of industries, then here comes the industrial option. It's not necessary like if somebody has done MSc, then he has to go or she has to go for PhD. It's not always the truth. There are option of industries, and in industries also there are lots of research work ongoing. As I said, CROs, they are having lots of new drug development. There are lots of genetic engineering work are going on to develop new molecule, to develop new vaccines. In my case, like I have worked for dengue vaccine development. I have worked for that insulin in tablet form. Nowadays people are taking that insulin being injected, injectable form. But I was working with a project, and where it was like in the tablet form, and we were trying to like when you engulf a protein molecule like insulin, the proteases inside your stomach will destroy that. It will chew it up. So we were developing, trying to add some protein inhibitors as well, so that the insulin can be protected and it will start working, and there is no need of taking injection. And in the coming days, it is going to come in the market as well. Apart from that, I have worked in several other like COVID vaccine development team as well. Some 3 years back, 3 or 4 years back, in 2022, 21. So industry is having lots of opportunities where you directly work to treat the diseases. So if a student want this kind of exciting career, he or she can join. And MSc is the basic criteria. At least you should have a very good MSc background. PhDs are sometimes required, but not necessarily. At MSc level, it's a good option.
Nice. Thank you for this information. And now let's talk about the work-life balance, because this is always a debate when people talk about the work-life balance in academia versus industry. Everyone says that industry is a 9 to 5 job, whereas academia is 24/7. So based on your experiences, what you can share and tell the people that how in the real life it looks.
It is totally like a black and white picture,
Mhm.
a black and white paper. So this is your psychology, how you see the world. I am working in industries and I am enjoying a lot. Believe me,
Mhm.
I have worked in 6 different industries in my last 13 years of work experience. So everywhere I saw, because I love biological sciences, I love my work, I love my instruments. So it doesn't matter if I'm working for 8 hours or 10 hours. I enjoyed spending time with my instruments, the results which comes, and the failures also, because sometimes you are developing something, you don't have the method. Actually, my background is the analytical development R&D, right? So I have been mostly into analytical, and I used to developing the method and using the instrument for analysis, and mostly the HPLCs and LCMS and some protein analysis tools. So work and life balance is totally depends how you see your work. But yes, there's work pressure. In a limited time you have to complete this much or that much. That happens in the QC department mostly, but not in R&D. R&D is always having freedom, flexibility of time, and freedom of thought as well. So if somebody joins the R&D department or analytical R&D, he or she can enjoy the work. But in industries also, overall the timeline fixed for a project. There will be presentations, there will be like a data presentation separately. There are lots of things. So nobody is happy, I'll say. Nobody happy in sense like to grow, to grab some, get promotions. So if these things comes in your mind now, nobody is happy. The most important part is whatever you are getting, be happy with that and enjoy your work. If you start enjoying your work, it will be rewarded in the coming days. And this has happened with me as well.
So this is something which
And
we always say. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So we always say
So
that whatever makes you happy. And as you said, that if you are enjoying your work, that is the key to the success as well as, to the recognition which you get, either you are in academia or in industry. But now, Rajiv, spending more than a decade in industry, have you ever thought, or when
yes.
your peers who have taken the other path of academia and have done PhD, whenever you interact, what is the basic difference which you find between the two researchers taking the academia path or the industry path?
The basic difference, yes, I have several friends, my BSc batchmates, my MSc batchmates. Most of them are doing PDF nowadays. Somebody is like in IITs, somebody is in good organization. So the basic difference, they yeah, level of knowledge, I'll say, since their PhD days or the PDF days, they are highly focused for a particular domain of science where they are like expert. They are master in that particular domain, right? Somebody is working on antibodies only. Somebody is working on a particular cycle inside the cell, right? So they are having very deeper knowledge. But the other part, when I see a person who is in industry, their thought process is totally different. How to commercialize a technology, which is from lab to land, is a very different procedure. If my friend who developed a technology in the lab in a culture tube of 3 ml or 5 ml and developing the same product from 3 ml to 50,000 liter fermenter is a tedious job. So this is the basic difference. They have very good knowledge, very deeper knowledge, but their mind doesn't work like to commercialize the product. One
And
thing
this,
I would like to mention,
yes, please.
those who want to go in industries, there are two options for R&D. One is the R&D for developing a new drug molecule, right? Another type of R&D called process development R&D. I don't know how many of our audience know about this. Whoever worked in the industry, they might be knowing this. Process development R&D is a kind of R&D where, if you want to commercialize a product, the technology has been already developed somewhere, right? For example, let's talk about any antibiotic. One industry want to produce that particular antibiotic using the technology which has been developed some years back, right? To get the maximum productivity uh, by modifying that established technology, you will get some changes in the overall production, right? So working on that kind of R&D means developing a new process uh, lower down the production cost. So there is a separate department called process development R&D. So this also existing, and if somebody want to join that, can go. But before joining any R&D, just ask your employer whether it is a process development R&D or R&D.
Nice. I think this is a very important point to discuss before joining or committing to the job which you are going to take. Rajiv, it is a great conversation which we are going now, keeping the time in mind and the
Yeah.
researcher celebrity organization what we have done till now. Now, the last question for you will be, how do you see the industry academia collaboration, and then what you can suggest to the researchers if they can come up with the ideas?
Yeah, it's a very good idea. I always personally promote this because industries they don't have that much of time, and they have very limited resources as well to spend or invest in the name of R&D. If a person from academics developed some technology that must be commercialized, and there should be like some vision, there should be demand in the market, right? Like if somebody developed a technology which is not in the demand, or some rare diseases, there are certain diseases called orphan diseases. Orphan diseases are those diseases which happens once in trillions or zillions. So like one pharmaceutical developing a drug which can be sold in once in 5 years, nobody will commercialize that kind of technology, right? So developing a technology should having a volume in the market, and of course it's always a good idea to commercialize the academic technologies into industrial way. So full support from my side.
Nice. This is something which is very, upcoming, when now academia and industry are coming together and joining hands and taking the products, as you said, from lab to land. So with this, we'll say to all of our audience that if you want to write directly to Mr. Rajiv about more of the career guidance, or if you have questions about your research or decision making, if you need any help, you can write to Mr. Rajiv, or if you want Empowering Science Foundation to put you in touch with our other researcher celebrities, we are always more than happy to help. We are there for this particular reason, because Empowering Science Foundation, we believe in breaking the barriers, and one of the barrier is now contacting or making the networks, because with internet you have everything available, and in fact you are listening this talk at YouTube channel of ours. So the information is available. Now where it is lacking is that you don't have a real person to talk to or to discuss. Here we have Mr. Rajiv with us today, and we always have more researcher celebrities who are willing to help you. The only thing required from your side is question, contact, and then we are here to happy to help. Thank you very much, Mr. Rajiv. It was fantastic talking to you, and I believe that you have motivated so many other bachelor's and master students today to make their path to industry.
Thank you so much. It was wonderful to have you also.
Thank you, thank you. With this, we'll say to all the audience, keep watching and stay tuned for another episode of Researcher Celebrity. And thank you, Mr. Rajiv, for spending time with us.